Do you believe this stuff that's coming out of your mouth? There's no way you do.
This was a credit card cuckold.
Love wins out in the end, you know?
What's up, Douglas? Douglas, check out my dad. Hey, check out my dad and Brandon in the background here. Check them out.
Look
They're
at
getting ready. Hey, yeah, look at. Hey, they're loading up the Riverside. They're getting ready with their pick. There he is. There's B-Dog.
What's going on?
My man. Doug Wade, meet Brandon Wandell. Brandon Wandell, meet the Casey on Tap Nation. We are in 6 countries all over this great globe. We're in 75 cities. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're sitting in downtown Portland, Oregon. That's what's up. We are here. The Wandells have invaded the state of Oregon for the Ohio State-Oregon Duck football game tomorrow. That's what's going on. His name's Doug Wade. My name's Casey Wandell. This is Casey on Tap. Welcome, everybody. We have very special guests today. Brandon Wandell, my brother, and Keith Wandell, my father, 2 of the most dedicated Ohio State fans in the country. Douglas, how the hell's it going back in Ohio, buddy?
Well, a couple things. I love that Mr. Wandell's in the background trying to finish episode 22 before he starts this show. I mean, that's fantastic. That's dedication. What's the temperature out there in Oregon?
It's about 60 degrees, 60 and overcast.
You see my dad wandering around here? Keith's wandering around. He's getting antsy. Let's talk to the peeps. Here, Dad, go to Brandon's phone and we'll get your pics real quick. And then you're done. Oh, he said, that's all right. Hey, man, ladies and gentlemen, my dad, the man, the myth, the legend, he's refusing. He's refusing the call. Dad, how about a Buckeye score? 31-20 Buckeyes, folks. There you go. All right. I got to tell you, Doug, you got to give us some credit here. Brandon, myself, we are in downtown Portland, Oregon, and we are still here for our weekly Casey on Tap winners segment. Brandon's fired up. He's got some good picks, Doug. I'm fired up. So what do you say we let Brandon start and we can get him out of here? They can go get their lunch.
Well, real quick, right before he does that, I am very impressed that we're recording from Oregon. And the fact that you guys were on the 50-yard line not 20 minutes ago and got escorted off to try to record this is even more amazing. So it's good stuff. Let's hear these winners.
Brandon, what do you got, buddy? We're talking college football. We're talking winners. Our people need winners. What do you got?
All right, so I'm going to preface this. I'm not much of a college football gambler, right? But I am passionate about college football, and I have strong opinions on it. So talking with Casey on the plane on the way out here yesterday, taking a couple home dogs. So LSU's a home dog to Ole Miss. I don't see Brian Kelly losing tonight in Death Valley. So taking LSU.
What's the line on that?
3.
The line, yep.
-3.
3.5.
Doug, he's going against the lane train, baby.
I love it. I've been on LSU for weeks. I love it.
Go ahead.
All right, next one. Penn State is a favorite going across country to USC. No way James Franklin runs out there and wins that game. If there's one thing you can count on the Big Ten, it's James Franklin to screw it up in prime time. So that's USC at home taking the points. And then last.
Hang on, whoa. Slow down. Hang on, Brandon. Slow down. Doug, is Brandon coming strong or what?
I mean,
I miss
love
my boy here.
Yeah, that's strong. I even looked at that game and I lean with Brandon there. That's a great one.
He knows his stuff. I said I'm going to have him on to do winners. He's 2 for 2 strong plays. Nice, Brandon. What's your third?
All right, last but not least, Red River Shootout. Oklahoma is a 14.5-point dog. That game, year in, year out, is less than a touchdown. Either way, last year, I think both teams scored in the last 3 minutes of the game to take the lead. Texas took a lead. Oklahoma drove down and scored with about 12 seconds left in the game. I expect Oklahoma to keep that one close, so I'm taking them in the points.
3 NFL picks.
Okay, here's one that's surprised people. So the Ravens are 7-point favorites at home over the Commanders.
Okay.
I'd expect Jaden Daniels to go.
Is it that high? Wow.
It is. But I will say I think Jaden Daniels is going to struggle with the Baltimore-led defense. I think they confuse them. Ravens win that game by more than a touchdown.
Oh, wow. I love it. The VP of hype would be going ballistic. He's been on this Commanders bandwagon lately. This is fantastic.
Hey, my brother Brandon knows football, man. He knows his football. And listen, he's not a gambler. I'm not a gambler. No big deal. But if you are a degenerate gambler out there and you feel like throwing a couple dollars towards the house, these are some solid plays he's giving. Go ahead, B-Dog. What's up, everybody? We're recording a podcast. Hello. Can you say hello? Don't you worry. Hey, how's it going? I love that. I'm well. Thank you. Yeah, come on over here. Listen. Get over here and show this is Casey on Tap Nation, baby. We got 75 cities. Say hello. Right there you are. Go ahead and give your names.
My name's
How about that? Buckeyes or Ducks in football? Ohio State or Oregon? Let's go. Come on. What's up? Let's go. You have an awesome day, awesome weekend. That's how we do it, everybody. That's how we do it. Go ahead, Brandon. Give us your second and third picks in the NFL.
All right. Here's one. I'm going out on a limb because this is a team that has to win, must win to save the season. Jets are 2.5-point dogs at home. Just fired their head coach.
Casey on tap. CASEY on tap. Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. Thank you. Sorry, B-Dog. They're just going to down more people all over the country downloading the product. Go ahead.
All right. So Jets fired their head coach, demoted their offensive coordinator. Must win game to save their season. 2.5-point dogs at home. I'm actually going to take the Jets to beat the Bills this weekend.
Well, they're dogs at home. Ooh, 5 solid plays. What's your sixth?
What was that?
Do you have your sixth or your third NFL play?
Yep. Last one. Give me a second here. I'm literally doing this in real time. Okay.
Tell me when I'm done. Take your time, I'll edit this. Don't worry about it.
All right, just to stay in the favor.
Hey, I'll be right in.
In the Ohio State flavor of the weekend.
Yeah.
Texans 6.5-point favorites going to New England. I think CJ Stroud rolls in there and comes out with a big W.
Okay, Brandon. Listen, before you go, if you don't mind, Doug, I want him to break down his thoughts on the Ohio State game. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, he's got some really good insight. So, Brandon, if you don't mind, just a couple minutes, and then you can go in with that for lunch, and we'll keep on dominating.
Okay, so Ohio State, Oregon, big matchup, 2 versus 3 this weekend in Eugene. I've been obviously watched every snap of every Ohio State game multiple times throughout the year. Started off a little slow to start the season. You had a bunch of new players coming in, Caleb Downs, Seth McLaughlin, new offensive linemen. Everybody needed some time to gel. What we saw last week against Iowa was all those pieces coming together, right? So Iowa, going in that game, tough defensive line, 2 strong defensive tackles. Ohio State's not going to be able to run the ball. I think they walked out of that game with 250 some odd yards rushing against Iowa, who hadn't given up 100 all season. I expect Ohio State to go on the road, use their offensive line that's now starting to move people off the ball and run the ball to control the clock. I think this is going to be a lower scoring game than expected. I'm saying total points scored 45, probably looking at like a 28-20 round there, 28-17. Ohio State. I think run game controls the clock. I think defense plays better than expected. Forces a couple turnovers, takes the crowd out of it, and that's my prediction.
I like it. Absolutely, man. Have a great time out there. Cheer those Buckeyes on. Let's get that victory.
Sounds good. Thanks. OH.
IO.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are doing this on location. I hope you can appreciate the effort we're putting in. So hopefully there's not any technical difficulties, but we had Brandon there. He was just on point with his picks. He came strong. And then we had my dad, Keith, who clearly wasn't, hey, Doug, I don't know if you noticed, but he wasn't quite as into it as Brandon.
Well, I think he's frustrated that he wasn't able to catch up and finish and get all the way through episode 24 before recording today. So I feel confident within the next few weeks we'll have him on here.
We'll have him. Well, listen, we're out here for the game. There's a huge contingent of Ohio State fans. So far, it's been an awesome trip. And, we'll talk about that game. All right, so, Doug, let's start with your 3 college picks. I'll go with mine, and then we'll do NFL. Then we'll talk about the Buckeyes in Oregon, and then we'll get out of here.
This is an incredible week on the college card.
Yes, it is.
I've got 5 games I love.
Cool.
And it's interesting. One of them Brandon picked. So I'm going to lay off.
May I interrupt you for a second? You look great. The light, you look fantastic. The lighting, you look, God bless you. You look great. That's all. Go ahead.
So the one player I'll touch on, he took Oklahoma plus 14.5. I support that pick. I like that pick a lot. It's not going to be one of my 3, but I love it. First game, Georgia Tech is a 4-point favorite at North Carolina. Okay. Georgia Tech coming off a big win against Duke. They're off to a strong start this season. North Carolina's defense is pathetic. Georgia Tech, I see no reason why they don't win this game by double digits. 4 points is just simply not enough. Georgia Tech, play number 1. Play number 2, I'm going with the team that I have rode 3 straight weeks. I feel like I have a pulse on this team. I'm 3-0, either betting with them or against them. You know who I'm about to say, right?
I do.
Yeah. The Northern Illinois Bowling Green game.
I do. Northern Illinois. It's amazing.
After taking Northern Illinois to cover against Notre Dame, I have won against them the last few weeks, which they have not covered. And UMass last week covered for me against Northern Illinois. And I did not update our records yet, but I will. This week, Northern Illinois goes on the road Last week against UMass, as 17-point favorites, they were losing at half. They came out in that second half, and they actually put a slight scare in me. For a second, I thought I may not cover that game. They ended up winning by 14 points. They seem to get over kind of that rut they've been in. They played very strong to end that game. They're going into Bowling Green this week as 2.5-point underdogs, and they're the better team. Northern Illinois is going to win that game outright against Bowling Green.
I thought you were going the other way with it. Okay.
We're back on Northern Illinois. They stopped their little 2-game skid against the
We're
spread.
back on them, baby. We're back on them. I love
Northern
it.
Illinois. The final game I've got and I got to touch on one game that I'm not going to take on. But did you see the line on the Washington-Iowa game?
I have not.
If you want to talk about Vegas at work, here's Washington off this enormous win against Michigan, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're ranked. Their rankings way up. They're all the momentum, a huge deal. Iowa comes off this thrashing against Ohio State.
Okay. Is it tonight? I don't see it on the board.
They're now meeting each other. I think it's tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon. Okay. Washington goes to Iowa. Iowa's 2.5-point favorites. I mean, Vegas is begging you to take Washington.
Yeah.
I love Iowa in that game, but that's not going to be my third play because I'm only allowed 3. And the arguably biggest game of the year is tomorrow night, which you're going to be at. And there is no way I'm laying off this game. Brandon already talked about Ohio State a little bit. Ohio State's had a history here the last 5-6 years. Some of these big games they have not come through, but this team just looks different. It's offense, the momentum, the running game, the two-headed monster running game that they have. Chip Kelly's not getting enough credit for his play calling right now. Oregon's solid. That crowd's going to be nuts. But Ohio State's running game, if you want to control a road crowd, you have a running game. And Ohio State's got a running game. They're going to have to throw the ball 50 times. Ohio State's going to win this game. And I feel confident they win this game by more than a touchdown. I think it will be a competitive game, but I see them winning by 7 to 10 points. And I love the Buckeyes to cover. That's my third play.
Awesome. I like those. I do. As a matter of fact, I'll just go ahead and say it right now. Ohio State's one of my plays too. I'm not. There's no way I'm going to Eugene. I'm going to go in that beautiful stadium, 75,000 beautiful human beings on this earth in this majestic landscape. There's no way I'm going to go into that Lion's Den and not stand proudly amongst the green and yellow and say, I'm sorry. The statistics say that the Oregon Ducks, listen to this, Douglas, the Oregon Ducks have not lost at home by more than 4 points since 2017. They lost to Stanford by a touchdown in overtime. They don't lose by 4 at home. Furthermore, they haven't lost 3 games at home in the last decade. It all comes to a screeching halt Saturday night, my friends. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to my Oregon fans. 42-21 Buckeyes cover the 3, whatever it is, 3.5 easily. What's the line, Doug? What are we using? 3?
It's I think last I saw FanDuel was
it's 3.5 live. Yep, 3.5. Ohio State's 3.5. I'm taking it's Ohio State. Boom, done. Doug and I and Brandon already 1-0. Just count it. My pick, my number 2 pick. You know what I'm going to do here? I don't know why Vegas is putting out that rotten cheese, but I smell rotten cheese. They are begging for me. You know the flavor of the cheese, Doug, it's Arizona Wildcat flavored cheese. See, they have cheese over the corner, and they want here, kitty. They want me to bite on this Arizona plus the 3.5 minus the 120 at BYU. No. I will once again take my Cougars. The BYU Cougars have been good to me, and they will be good to you. Again, BYU. Resist the rotten cheese and take BYU. That's my pick number 2, minus 3.5 at home against Arizona. And Doug, you're going to love this pick, my friend. You are going to love this pick because right now your boy Deion Sanders is in the spotlight for Coach of the Year. Deion Sanders and Travis Hunter and Shador are in the spotlight as maybe they're back. Well, I got a problem with that because my buddy Doug said Deion is going to be shamed at the end of the season, and I stand behind my friend Doug, and that shaming starts after the whooping they're about to take it home to the Kansas State Wildcats. I'm standing with Doug. I'm standing with truth and justice, and I'm standing with the Kansas State Wildcats. Lay the points. Prime time goes down. Those are my 3 picks.
What's the line for the fans, the audience?
3.5. 3.5. So K-State, boy, I got a couple.
Wow, all 3.5 point favorites, all three of them for you.
Two of them in very hostile environments. So they're my college plays, my friend. Let's go NFL.
All right, NFL. First play is the first Sunday morning game. We've got in London. We've got the Bears, who've been hot, baby, hot against old lowly Jacksonville. What's going on in Jacksonville? Let me tell you what's going on in Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence looked good last week in a
Let
great
me tell you
game.
what's going on in Jacksonville.
Great game against Indianapolis last week. Jacksonville is going into Chicago or into London. They're going to win that game. That line right now, I think the Jags are +1. The line actually came out. Bears were 2.5 point favorites. It's all the way down to 1. I like Jacksonville to win that game outright.
Look at you.
I was
Love it.
on the Bears season total under at the beginning of the year, and
You're such an ass.
I'm sticking with that. Play number two. Play number two. This is interesting, and this is a big game. Obviously, I absolutely hate this team, but there's one player on this team I love,
Okay.
and that is the Steelers and Justin Fields. Okay,
Okay.
the Steelers are coming off a very tough game, which I predicted against the Cowboys last Sunday night. They
Yes,
now
you
get
did.
Oakland, who has just changed quarterbacks. Oakland's going to Aiden O'Connell, who's going to be getting his first start. All of a sudden, Russell Wilson's back. He's active. He's
Las Vegas, you mean? Did you say, I'm sorry, did you say Oakland?
Las Vegas. Yes.
It does, I mean, that was just that's fine.
I'm just used to saying Oakland. So, yeah,
I know. I get it.
Las Vegas Raiders have changed quarterbacks. Russell Wilson is back on the depth chart practicing for Pittsburgh. I think that is going to even extra motivation for Fields. He knows he has to play well. Statistically, Fields has been playing very, very well. He's got a lot of prominence right now in fantasy football. If you're following that, he is putting up numbers. Again, a tough loss last week. I expect Pittsburgh to bounce back. 3 points is simply not enough. Give me the Steelers -3 against the Raiders. Play number three. I have a kind of a mantra or a motto or a guideline. We're very, very rarely on primetime games do I take road favorites. Very rarely. I'll almost always take home dogs. However, there's a game this Sunday night where there's a team that is coming off a horrific loss last week, going against a team who played their best game of the year. And as if you have followed over these past weeks, that is my number one trait. Get a team who's coming off a brutal loss against a team coming off a great win. Now you've got the Bengals rolling in to Meadowlands. Joe Burrow has got his feet under him. Jamar Chase, that offense is playing incredible. The defense got embarrassed last week. I expect them to bounce back against Daniel Jones and the Giants, at least hold them in check a little bit. Not only does Cincy win this game and cover 3.5 points, I would expect them to win this game by double digits. The Bengals are going into New York, taking care of business. They're not going 1-5. They're just simply too good. And with the Giants coming off a win, I love Cincinnati in the spot. Absolutely love them. So there you go. Jaguars, Steelers, Bengals.
I got to tell you something. You got a different aura and confidence to your picks this week. I like them. I like them a lot. I like Brandon's picks. So I'm gonna go ahead and just round this out with 3 more winners for the people. It's gonna be a big week for everybody if they're taking these picks. We're gonna start in Lambeau, where Jordan Love and the Packers, all indications are they're going to get healthy and they're pointing in the right direction. Nay, you will take the Arizona Cardinals plus that delicious candy. You're going to take Arizona plus the 5.5 in Lambeau, and that's your first winner in the NFL. Your second winner in the NFL is very simple. Do I love Jimmy Harbaugh? Yes. Do I love what he's doing with the Chargers? Yes. Are they going to hoist the Vince Lombardi Trophy very soon? Yes. Are they going to win or cover in Denver this Sunday? No. Not this week. Bo Nix is going to have another stellar 43-yard passing game, and they're going to win behind who knows what. Smoke and mirrors, a little magical defense. Take the Broncos and Mile High -3 against the depleted Chargers of San Diego. Los Angeles. And the third and final winner Okay, so you know what? I will stand with America. Shame on me. Shame. As a matter of fact, when I get done with this podcast, I'm going to stand in the corner and say the Pledge of Allegiance 50 damn times to the wall because what was I doing? What was I thinking? Of course, there's only one mighty, mighty winner left on this board. The Detroit Lions coming into Dallas. I mean, shame on them. Shame on them for even traveling. Shame on them for walking on that precious, sacred field. The Cowboys are going to get 3 points at home, and I'm going to take.
Yeah, I mean, before we started recording this podcast, I'd bet any amount of money you were going to take the Cowboys this week. You know why? Because I embarrassed you by taking them last week, where you have laid off them all season long.
I know.
I came out
You're
a
right.
winner.
You're right.
Even
You're right.
you said they were going to lose last week. I came out
You're
a
right.
winner, and you have been
I absolutely did. I did. I didn't think they were going to. You're
take
right.
twice.
What you just said, I completely and firmly, I completely agree with that. And you've taught me. I need to be better. You're right. I did not stand with them last week. I thought Pittsburgh would win, but here I am, and we stand united against the Detroit Lions. +3 Sunday night. All right, Douglas. Listen, we're here in Portland, downtown Portland, so we're going to cut it a little bit short. But before we do, any final thoughts on the Buckeyes? Any analysis we didn't give? I mean, it's going to be a fun game, great atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we all know the history and success that Ryan Day has had while at Ohio State, but the one big caveat to him, even people calling for his head, are the big games. There's only so many big games a year. We've got national championship games and we've got Michigan. Those are the big games, and his record is not, fantastic in those games, and rightfully so. We're playing better teams in those games. However, he's going to have to start winning these games. There is no better opportunity than tomorrow night with this roster, with this coaching staff he has, with Chip Kelly by his side, Jimmy Knowles on the defense. I'm telling you, we've got everything is in place. There's no excuses to not win this game, put ourselves in the position to win the national championship. I mean, this is the game for us. And now there are some other tough games on the schedule. I don't believe Michigan's one of them, but we will more than likely play Oregon again in the Big Ten championship game. But if you win this game, and even if you lose that game, you've split and you've pretty much locked yourself into the playoffs. This is a game not only for the playoffs, but for your own morale to win one of these games on the road in this environment. It's a big deal. And I fully expect the Buckeyes to do it, and I'm excited to watch it.
I think that was spot on. And frankly, I think, Doug, if I could celebrate your point, it feels like if Ohio State were to lose this game, I just feel like it would be tremendously disappointing for how we've looked this year. I mean, it just would look like we are a cut above every other team. Awesome road test. It's going to be an incredible environment, but still something feels different about this Buckeye team. So, hey, man, listen, Douglas Wade is in Ohio. You have an awesome day, my friend. Awesome weekend. And until next time, my friends, for Douglas William Wade, my name's Casey Wandell, and this is Casey on Tap, where anything goes, folks. Go Bucks. Later, Doug.
Go Bucks. See ya. Do you believe this stuff that's coming out of your mouth? There's no way you do.
This was a credit card cuckold.
Love wins out in the end,